Hi, boys and girls. Okay, welcome to Friday's math lesson. So today should be pretty easy because we are reviewing chapter 4. So our review is going to be on pages 287 all the way to 290. So if you want to get out your math book, there it is, big and heavy, isn't it? And turn to page 287. Go ahead and do that. You can pause the video while you get to page 287. We're getting there. We're more than halfway done, aren't we? All right, so just a few things before we look at our review. I want you to remember that you can subtract by counting back on your number line. Remember, when we use our number line and we are subtracting, let's say I'm subtracting 13 minus 2. I am counting back towards 0 when I subtract. Kind of doesn't rhyme, but it kind of sounds cool. Count to, or if you want to subtract, count back. Count back to subtract. We're not counting forward. We do that when we add, but when we subtract, we go back. Okay, the next thing. Remember, you can use that 10 frame to help you subtract. If you have your counters in your 10 frame and you can cross off the ones you're subtracting, you can see how many you have left. You can also use your fact families. Remember, fact families were those problems where they told you the part, and the other, and the whole. So you know all three parts, and you could make 2 addition facts and 2 subtraction facts using those 3 same numbers. We don't want any numbers that don't belong in our fact family. Remember, we said no stranger danger. Only the numbers that belong in our fact family. And also, we've done this since the first day of school. You can use those part, whole maths to help you, okay? So, if you look on page 287, over here, it always shows you examples. Remember how we would do the examples in class, and then we would practice these on the board. So first, underneath that capital A, where it says set A, it says you can count back on a number line to subtract. They show you how to find 10 minus 6. They start at that 10, they count back 6 hops, and they landed on 4. Now, they also show you that you can count on to subtract if your brain works better that way. So they started at the 6, and they thought, let's see how many hops it takes to get to 10. So they counted forward, and they found that it takes 4 hops. So go ahead and try to find the answers to these 2 over here. The first one is 9 minus 6 and 10 minus 5. If you want to pause the video and go ahead and try to find those, go ahead. Okay, now on the next page, underneath the capital B, it talks about how you can make a 10 to subtract. Now, this was the lesson in school. Remember where I said, we're going to kind of erase what part of the book says. We're not going to do all of these steps because when we break it down to too many steps, sometimes that just jumbles our brains. So if it tells you 15 minus 6, I want you to just draw 15 counters and take 6 away and see how many you have left and come right down to your answer. Don't worry about these in-between steps unless your brain works that way or unless you want the extra challenge, but my brain does not work that way. Do what's best for you. Now over here, all you need to do is find 16 minus 7, write the answer. Again, don't worry about these in-between steps. Number 4, 13 minus 6, don't worry about the in-between steps. Okay? Use these like if you had your counters and you were just taking them away. Now, underneath set C, it says you can write a fact family to match the model. So here's my part, whole model. I see 6 right here in this part. I see 8 in this part. my whole is 14. So they tell me, and here it's tricky because they put that equal sign on the other side, but are we gonna let them trick us? No way, no way, we're smarter than that. It tells me 14 equals 6 plus 8. Now, I can also say 14 equals 8 plus 6. It's the same thing, right? Let's sing our song. The addends can be flipped. The addends can be flipped. Hi-ho, the dairy-o, the addends can be flipped. The sum stays the same. The sum stays the same. Hi-ho, the dairy-o, the sum stays the same. Now, down here, we're doing our two subtracting problems. When I subtract, I always start with the biggest number. So they're starting with the whole. Start with 14. They took away 8. They're left with 6. Down here, they started with 14. They took away 6. And they're left with 8. So go ahead and practice over here on this side for this fact family. Now, over here underneath capital letter D, set D, it says you can use addition to help you subtract. So it's asking us, what's 15 minus 7? They want me to think, well, 7 plus what is 15? Now I know if I used my part whole math, I could think, well, 7 plus 8 is 15. So the missing number is 8. Now you can also, remember when we used our different strategies, whatever strategy worked best for you to subtract. Let's turn to the next one. Now set F talks about how you can write an equation to show what it's asking you in that word problem. You guys have been doing a really, really good job about finding those either addition facts or subtraction facts based upon what the word problem says. Now, the last one for number 10, this is where you get to write a number story for this problem. And then you can complete that equation. So it's asking you to write a problem that matches 9 plus 4. Maybe you want to say there were 9 snowmen and then you made 4 more, or you baked 9 cookies and then your grandma gave you 4 more cookies and you want to know how many cookies you have left. Just make sure it matches that problem. Okay, so don't forget today for Friday, page 287 all the way up to 290. Make sure your grown-ups send me a picture of your work, and also don't forget your writing prompts are also due. A page a day, 3 sentences a day, finger space, capital letters. I love all the neat handwriting I've been seeing. You are doing awesome. I will see you on Monday morning. I hope you all have a great, great weekend.